Okay folks, what I'm doing here today is on my 2003 Saturn Vue. I'm going to be changing the rear trailing arm. And it goes something like this. And here it is here. Don't mind all the crud there. It's just well oil sprayed. Helps preserve it from rust. So what the involvements are is you have your e-brake cable. Needs to come off. And that is a nut and a bolt. 13 millimeter. And then here you have a bolt, and a bolt. And it's from the back side, which is 18 millimeter. And they come off. And on one of them bolts, you have your brake line holder. This bracket here is, I believe it's this bolt here, the top one. And then on the very underside of it, you know, if you're gonna change your own, get yourself down a little cushion so you can lay on it and be comfortable. So on the underside of it, okay, focus camera, there we go. Here's the actual arm and the bushing. And the bushing itself is it's bad. It's not completely bad, but it's starting to allow the ass end to be kind of wobbly a little bit. So then there's a big bracket here that goes along with that, and that's what I'm going to be removing. Is this bolt here, and then there's two more but up on the opposite end of the front end, and they're the same bolt, 18 millimeter, and they're usually not very tight, and they're usually free, but that's really hard to know on anybody else's vehicle. On my vehicle they're free because like I say, I oil spray it, so the rust doesn't really have a chance to develop. So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to be removing the two backside bolts up top, and then the one up front, and then the e-brake nut and bolt that holds the cable along the side of the arm, and them three bolts you see there, and that's really all there is to it. Nothing really gets nothing loses alignment. There's no adjustment to anything here. As you can see, the holes are just holes. They're not oblong or anything like that. So it's pretty much just a remove and install. Installing it, there's a little wee bit of prying, but not a whole lot. For the most part, it's a pretty simple job, and just about anybody can do it. And especially those that are mechanically inclined, they can definitely do it. So I'm going to proceed with this removal of this arm and get the new arm on there. I'm going to actually do both sides of the vehicle. You can see up inside there. So I'll be back with you when it's removed. Or maybe before that, I'll give you a little, once I get everything kind of loose, I'll give you another little peek. So till then. Alright, it's loose. It's just sitting in here freely. One thing left I have to remove is the e-brake, emergency brake cable bracket on the side here. 13 millimeter nut and bolt. So it needs to be held on the back side or the front side, either or, and spun off. So I'll be back with you when I have it off, and I'll show you the next step. Well, here's the old one removed, and I need to transfer this piece here over to this arm, and that's just one nut and bolt that hold it on. I'm going to show you this bushing here. You can see its separation. When you start seeing that separation, that means the life is not very longly left on it. So I'll be back with you. Let me get this removed and installed on the other arm. Okay, all put back together with the new arm and the new bushing. Not new arm, but new bushing. Now it's just a matter of reversing the process and reinstalling everything. Now there's one little trick. Keep this nut and bolt here loose. Don't tighten it up until you actually have it back firmly in place. And pretty much lower the vehicle down to the ground. And then once everything's sitting in a normal position, then tighten this back up. By doing so, this bushing here is going to be under the right tension, and that's what you want. You want to make sure it's under the right tension, sitting in a normal position, which will be down on the ground. You know, the tire back up, back on, and down, lower down, and it's just sitting as normal. That's when you want to re-tighten this down. Of course, to your torque specifications. Torque everything up, fellas. Use your torque specifications. That's what they have them for. And this way you know you're in safe zone. But you're doing it at your own risk. So anyhow. Alright, I'll be back with you when this gets reinstalled.